People lie about their age. When I turned 28 11 decades ago, I decided that was a good age and stuck with it until I was in my mid-30s. Kids say they're older so they can use online services such as Facebook. Adults claim they are younger for fear of ageism in the workplace. And people have been lying about their age for centuries and for a variety of reasons. That means you'll encounter it when researching your own ancestry. So what do you do when you find records where someone's year of birth is obviously off? In this 5-minute genealogy video, I'll share the questions I ask when I see discrepancies in birth year on different records, and share a couple of illustrative examples. I try to ask myself 4 questions. First, how likely was it that the person reporting the information knew the facts? 2, how carefully have I checked for another person with the same name who's about the same age? 3, do other facts support the relationship? And 4, is there a reasonable story for the discrepancy in ages? I was thinking about people lying about their ages quite recently when I broke through a brick wall with my wife's Palatine ancestors in colonial Pennsylvania. The wall I had broken through was that of Philip Heil, finding birth records for both his parents and his older siblings in the village of Neckarbischofsheim in the Palatinate. I've read a few books about immigration from that part of Germany at that time, and it wasn't just individuals and families. Portions of entire villages, sometimes half of a village, packed up and moved to Pennsylvania over the course of just a few years. I wondered if Philip Heil's wife, Jacobina, could be from Neckarbischofsheim as well. I had an 1804 church death record for Philip's wife, Jacobina Heil née Ziegler, that recorded her date of birth as 1 June 1740. Searching for Jacobina Ziegler in the same village turned up a baptismal record with a birth date of 1 June 1736, 4 years earlier than that death record in Pennsylvania. This was the same village that Philip Heil's family was from. It was the same date of birth. It was just 4 years prior. This had to be the woman who married Philip Heil in Philadelphia. But the 4 years off, I wanted to make sure I had a solid story here. So back to my 4 questions. First, check the person reporting the information. Unfortunately, the death record didn't list the name of the person who reported Jacobina's death, so I really can't tell if they knew what they were talking about. Second, check for similar names. I searched for birth records in Germany for women with the same name between 1730 and 1750. I found 3 women, one born in September 1740, another in October 1741, and a third in November of 1742. But the mismatch in months didn't feel compelling, and none of these were in Neckarbischofsheim, which really did feel compelling. Third, I looked for supporting evidence that Jacobina's family, the Zieglers, immigrated to Pennsylvania, and found that a man with the same name as Jacobina Ziegler's father arrived in Philadelphia in 1751. I would have liked to see a little bit more in Pennsylvania, but still, that's pretty good. Fourth question, was the story reasonable? I think so. I have 7 different primary sources showing Philip was born in 1738 or 1739, and a reliable secondary source reporting his birth on 15 September 1739. If Jacobina were born in 1736, she would have been 3 years older than her husband. But if she had said she was born in 1740, she would have been 9 months younger when they got married. Even in today's culture, it's more common for women to marry older men. Back in 1740, I think it's utterly reasonable for a woman to lie about her age in that case. Take another example. My second great-grandmother, Mary Shield Gallagher, who was sort of the reverse of Jacobina Ziegler. I know the story of her life from her daughter via my uncle. She was born near Swinford, Ireland, spent some time in Worcestershire, England, and then immigrated to Philadelphia. I actually have no idea when she was born, with different records suggesting 1844, 1849, 1851, and 1857. My conclusion stops with my first question. I don't think anyone, even Mary, knew the year that she was born, let alone what day or month. With Jacobina Ziegler, I could use a convincing narrative about her birth date to associate 2 records with different birth dates. For Mary Shield, I have to rely on other methods, namely oral history and her father's name, to tie all the records together. The inconsistent birth years are only helpful as supporting evidence once I've got a really solid story already locked down. I hope you enjoyed this 5-minute genealogy video. Please subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments.